And it's a little bit cliche, but I think, consumer expectations, consumer behavior is changing. It's changing rapidly, right? And as marketers, in particular, customer facing, we need to meet them on their demands. So if you think about it, years ago, it was TV. And we were managing to a funnel and a consumer expectation that was very easy to meet them in that device, in that sort of surface area. And then it went to PC. And then it went to smartphone, which is a huge revolution in the mid-2000s, right? Smartphone changed everything for us. And now we're talking AR, VR, Meta, all of these different surface areas, all these different sort of platforms. And as a marketer, it's really hard to meet that consumer demand on all those surface areas. And so I think about it, it's a very, very, very exciting time because we're at that next major disruption in our ability to, one, tech is the great enabler. As we think about, we have more data at our disposal than we've ever had before. Data science as a practice is now being productized in our hands. So we're able to better understand what consumer expectations are and then deliver things in a personalized way. It's a huge challenge and a huge opportunity for us as marketers and salespeople and technology providers to basically internalize that and respond. With that technology and that data is also a great responsibility. Privacy, security, all of these things are big concerns. And so how do we balance our ability to understand the consumer behavior and understand those consumer trends while at the same time being responsible with that, being authentic with that, and earning the trust so that we can continue to capture that data and respond more responsibly to the consumer demands. And so for me, I think, again, AI is, while the components have been around forever, right, for a long time, machine learning, natural language processing, all these sort of components and big data and data science, I think a lot of what we're talking about right now is the evolution of generative AI and a lot more productization of that at our fingertips. And so I think we're all experimenting with it. We don't know where it's going, right? We don't know where it's going from a usage or regulatory perspective, but I think it's really, really exciting. We should all be experimenting with it right now to get that sort of competitive edge and to really understand better how to deliver what ultimately is customer first benefit.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you, who are thinking about marketing, I think the other intersection is into product. Right? Mm-hmm. So you just touched on that a little bit when you said, how we actually go to market with the customer really starts with how we even just build the product. And so when we're thinking about growth, when we're thinking about building digital experiences, even just the actual build of the product and how that starts, how do we actually learn about customer behaviors, diagnostics? How do we think about predictive analytics? Just from a problem space perspective, if you're a product management leader, just even that space itself is getting disrupted by AI. Flip to when your developers are actually building code, right? They're not sitting in a static editor. They have tons of sample code through solutions like GitHub. And so when it comes to even development of the products today, there's a whole bunch of AI applications. And then in my world, when I look at all of these solutions and I think about, we have all of these customers, including the Fortune 100, that we need to go talk to them in a way that they feel like there's personalization without really deploying that many humans. For a platform that's so complex, how do I even start thinking about that problem, right? And so that's where then the question is, okay, great, I need to know these customers. So from a go-to-market perspective, for our sales teams, thinking about, how does lead gen work, disrupting that with predictive models, growth scores, propensity models when it comes to our feature set, just even inserting it into the pathways of existing teams is one real application. For our marketing teams, it's about, how do you think about content and making it a lot more tailored? What kind of content resonates? It's funny. We had a newsletter that we launched, and because Databricks gets to be a thought leader in this data and AI space, we sent a newsletter to all our customers, and the title of that was, What's New in Data Intelligence? Before that, all of our newsletters had said, what's new in Databricks? Or here's what's coming up. And, all of these tested out titles that we thought would really work. And October, November, December of last year, those newsletters just weren't doing well. And suddenly in January, we send out, what's new in generative AI? And boom, our numbers go up. because there's so much appetite to even just learn about it, that even how we talk to our customers, what we talk about, is now evolving rapidly. Like everyone just wants to grab a piece of the pie, so to speak, right? So there's all of these things in terms of, as a builder, how am I building my go-to-market? How is my product team building the product? And then how are we enabling sales and field teams? Like all of those aspects are getting disrupted. And even just, I think the last piece that we think about as we look at, traditional companies that have been around for years and years, it's not about taking just one random LLM bot or taking, like a Gen AI content model and slapping it on top of the product. It's more about where is that company's data at? So if you're a Nordstrom, if you're a retail tech provider, what data do you have? And how do you kind of customize that data to kind of lead the wave with Gen AI? So it's all about bringing the customer, in terms of meeting where they're at, meeting their data practitioners where they're at. And that's like the simple nuance, which, it's not about going and getting Gen AI. It's more about, how do you infuse it in what you're doing day to day? How do you actually bring it to life in a very small, meaningful way? And it all starts